What's up, everybody? Courtney Morse, Natural Wellness Physiotherapy, coming at you from Natural Wellness Physiotherapy. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some shoulder mobility stuff, reaching in those overhead positions. I've got a little bit of tightness that I've been working on for the last few days, and I've got to practice what I preach. Some days things are moving really well, and just other days that they aren't. This is almost always like one of the first ones that I give people when I notice that they kind of have a lack of in-range shoulder motion. And so one way to assess that is, if you turn to the side, you're keeping everything tight and braced through here, kind of like we talked about during the squat sequence. The same thing is true as we elevate our shoulder, right? Is that we should be able to kind of get it all the way up here without hyperextending our back and without, flaring at the ribs and things like that on both sides, right? And what we're looking for is your ear, level with your shoulder. If you're somewhere down in here, right? Then all of those overhead movements and positions that you're going to be doing are going to result in like some kind of overuse of your lower back to get there. Thoracic stiffness will lead to that as well too. So the very first one that I always go to when I'm having some of this achy stuff overhead is I go to the wall slide. It's like the very first one that after shoulder rehab you start getting into and things like that. Minimal equipment required, wall, right? So your hand goes on the wall. A couple things to point out as we're going through here is that as you're sliding your way up into the end range here, then you want to kind of add a little bit of overpressure to the system, but you want to kind of maintain your tone here, okay? So you're going to slide this up forward, and then you're going to lean into it a little bit, and you're going to go out past where you can kind of go naturally on your own, right? As you're up in this range, but I've not lost my stable braced core. I'm not down here. I'm not hanging around in there. Do a few of them on the right side. Do a few of them on the left side. If you have asymmetries, work those things out. If you're kind of working your way through, you're doing some shoulder mobility, you're doing overhead press, and you're lacking that little bit, then it's going to result in some overuse somewhere else. So very nice, easy one to get into, warming those shoulders up before you even have to get into the aggressive stuff or the bands or anything like that. So super easy shoulder stretch. Until next time, Courtney Morse, Natural Wellness Physiotherapy.